One of the things that I hear from people on social media channels, but also people that I take advising sessions with, some of our students, they're obviously worried about they've never worked in tech before. Will they get a job? So I was just curious. I mean, you've been in IT, tech, cybersecurity now for a decade plus, probably even longer. Have you hired people who've never worked in tech to work in these types of roles?
Yeah, definitely. My most recent two hires on our account management team, one came from retail sales. She actually worked in the Lego store. Another one came from performing arts. She was an opera singer for a while. In both cases,
Amazing.
the things that impressed me were one, the certifications that they'd gotten coming in. Customer service role I mentioned was not a cybersecurity job, so different certifications, but this woman came in, she had multiple IT certifications that she'd prepared for, that she'd studied for. The thing I always look for when someone's coming in who doesn't have a background in tech is I want to know that they're committed to working in tech. And I'm just not one of kind of 100 jobs they applied to and mine happened to be a tech job. I want to see that I'm in the industry they really want to be in. One of the great things about getting into tech is that the more you can show you're trying to be in the space, the better that looks for you. Yeah.
Also, I think remembering that like employers do like to see effort. So it shouldn't just be a matter of going onto LinkedIn and hitting apply 30 times in a row because that's you're now one of 1,000 people that have applied for that role. But if you've taken the extra 10 minutes to customize that cover letter that's going out, personalizing a message, tweaking your resume to make sure it lines up, like those are all things that help you, stand out as you're, doing that job process. I know we've talked about this in the past, but it also goes to the idea that like be open to looking for smaller companies, startups. They're a lot more flexible a lot of times with how they hire versus a Fortune 500 company where everyone wants to work and they have mapped out, like HR probably has a 5,000-page manual about how to hire, what the requirements are, like what types of things will flag on resumes. So yeah, I think be open to applying at the smaller companies, the startups,
Yeah.
because they're more willing to, I think, invest in people like that. There are tech roles at non-tech companies. Every retail store, every healthcare system has an IT department, but then you also have those non-technical roles at tech companies. So that's a great way to meet people in tech, build out your network, learn those skills, and if you want to make that jump, they know you. So like all of a sudden you're not worried about, oh well, so and so has never worked help desk before. Can I trust them with this? Well, you've been trusting them for the last few years. Of course you can probably, make that transition. Don't get hung up on job titles per se. I think a lot of people want to be a penetration tester, but they've never worked or whatever. You're building a career, not a job. Be open to the fact that like you're building a career here that you want to last 5, 10, 15 years.
I was in a mentor session with a student maybe 2 months ago who had a lot of experience doing small engine repair. He'd been a mechanic, he'd worked on lawn equipment. This is exactly the kind of person who should be, applying to cybersecurity jobs at large auto parts companies, at the auto auction companies, at the Home Depot, at companies that are going to understand that mechanical skills are hard and meaningful. If you apply to a cybersecurity job at AutoZone, it's not the kind of company we think of as a tech company, but they have a cybersecurity team. And that kind of place is going to be full of people who want to talk about the things you've experienced in if you come from that background.